War here, and today we're doing a rating and doomstack video covering the maggot host with a Plague Ogre doomstack going up against 2 full stacks of endgame crisis dwarfs and just random Norskins that are helping them out in the area, I guess. So these are not my favorite units in the game. I think that just because Tamrakhan gives these guys more boost than any other unit doesn't really incentivize me personally from recruiting them over something like Rot Knights, but I think we need to give this a fair go because it looks like the guy put in a decent amount of effort. These guys have maxed out experience, they've got really good stats. He's left Kasich in the army, even though he provides most of his boost to Rot Knights, largely because the extra speed that he provides for any unit in the army is really useful for a Plague Ogre army. And we've got a Nurgle spellcaster here, which I think is a good choice. So let's jump in and see how it performs. Now, because the auto-resolve says decisive defeat here, I kind of don't really want to leave anything to chance. I don't want to let the enemy get their forces organized before we charge in, because that will probably make this army look really badly. So we're not going to wait for their reinforcements in this situation here, because I think we're otherwise outpowered. Now, there's a lot of options of what we can do here. We could wait on the border of their reinforcement zone, because we've got Vanguard deployed on these units, and just smash them that way. But I think I would rather use Vanguard deployment to smash the initial army. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to take the regular Plague Ogres, because we've got 2 variants here. Okay, make sure that they're not facing the wrong way. Yeah, that's it. Because if they're facing the other way, it takes them longer to turn around. So the reason why I'm deploying them here is because if I was to charge up the hill, well, there's a whole bunch of melee infantry here, and these guys are ready to shoot right off the get-go. If we deploy at the back here, they'll be turning around, they'll be reforming. It confuses the AI. We'll probably be able to get them in a nice big blob, crump them in all up together, so we can use area effect magic, such as the healing, which we do have this one here, so maybe they can focus on that. But the spell that I like to use in this situation here is Miasma of Pestilence upgraded, because it's a cheap spell. That means you can activate the lore passive, so that gives healing. But this one, area effect debuff on melee attack, so that you don't take as much damage. But we really need to get them into a nice big crushed up clump to do that. And so I think this tactic here will work quite well. The Norskins will come in from over here, but I'm really not that concerned about them. The biggest problem are, of course, the anti-large missile units, but we'll try to deal with that when they get here. Now, we've got Tamrakhan here. What I'm going to do with him is I'm going to put him here. I'm not really going to use him much in this battle. Otherwise, he'll end up shining, just outshining the Plague Ogres. Because we really want to just focus on him. But what I'm going to do is leave him there so that he can tank the missile units. But I'm not really going to use him against the dwarves here. Because like I said before with these armies, we need to stress test them. And this is a pretty good stress test. But I think if we give the enemy too much lenience, we won't win. I'm pretty sure that even if I do my best with this, we're going to walk out of this with some pretty damaged units. Okay. So keep them hidden here. That way they'll just turn around and deal with the other Plague Ogres. I'll send Kasich up. He said in the email that Kasich is here also for Lord Sniping, which he is very good at that. That's what he used him for. And we'll see how it performs. So get them in. They reform straight away. Don't use Tamrakhan, because otherwise he'll do too much. We won't even need the Plague Ogres. Can't get in there. That's okay. See how they're starting to clump up? This is exactly what we wanted to see. And see how the missile units aren't shooting at us, the artillery? Exactly what we wanted. We want to approach on them without getting shot. Because we do have a decent amount of ward save, physical resistance, and missile resistance, but that doesn't make us immune from damage. Okay, clumped up for us, let's go. Thank you very much. The thing is, I'm coming off, right off the bat, of using the... oh God, shut up! Using the Rot Knight doomstack, and that was so fast and so good. These ones here, just a little bit on the slow side by comparison. Put him in there. We've got to get up on this hill here, really pin down the missile units. Come on, Kasich, get in there. So this one over here already taken... Oh, they're fighting Slayers. That's to be expected. Come on, get in there. We really want to get rid of anything that's causing a lot of missile damage. Oh, God. Tons of damage over there already. Alright, let's start doing a bit of this. Debuff them. Okay, yeah, they usually struggle with that one last Slayer. Just forget about that. I don't want to bog down too much. Okay, this unit here is getting fucked up. Let's get it out of there. Okay, the missile units have all been smashed. Let's pull them out of there. It's not going so well for them. Oh, get him out, get him out. So yeah, just keep Tamarkan sitting around there.
Off we go.
So yeah, a lot of damage just fighting the first army. This is why we didn't really want to just wait for them all to get together.
Consider it done.
But you know, this... It did say decisive defeat and order resolve. Okay, here we go. Let's pop this down on this one here. Right, we've got a decent amount of them all together there. Let's pop down an overcasted fleshy abundance. It's a very expensive spell, so you really want to make sure as many units get into the influence as possible. Okay, once again, overcast that to really debuff them. Yeah, this is what I wanted. I wanted him to just tank those missile units as much as possible, because that's no problem for him. I don't even need to do anything with him. I'm not going to micro him at all. He can tank all of that ammo, and he regenerates on his own, so doesn't need any assistance. Yeah, once we got all their stuff pinned down, that went a lot better. Kazak, you haven't killed this guy yet. Shut up. Hey, it's too loud. Okay, doing some of this casting here will be good just to get the passive. Gotta get these heals up here, because some of these units are pretty badly damaged. The enemy reinforcement... Okay, I should pull this one completely out of combat. Or else it's gonna get wiped out. But that fleshy abundance was good. It got all of those that were still alive to pretty much full health, but it can't revive them from death. That was not. Let's hurry up and get rid of these Norskins. We're in a bit of a blob, which isn't the worst thing ever, because it does make it good for it does make it good for our area of effect spellcasting. However, it makes us really vulnerable to the enemy missile units. Okay, we've got Slayers coming in the rear here. I need to turn back around and shoot them. Debuff them with this. Okay, pretty good debuff for 7 Winds of Magic. Get out of there. We're done with you. Oh, this one's come over. What can I do about that? Tamarkan, go help out our guys. You need to do a little bit of marker, otherwise this one's going to do too much damage. Right, okay, we need to start getting out of this blob now. It was good for a moment, but now things are getting a bit dicey. We need to get out of there. Right. Get rid of them. Because yeah, with us getting pinned down, them getting shot by rangers with a great weapon, that's not good. Just ball right over these fuckers. Go, 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 go. Kazak, I need you to kill this guy. Because yeah, killing those last couple of Slayers just takes so long. Just roll right over them. Usually you can drop them on the ground. Okay, a lot of dangerous missile units over here. We need to pin down in combat. There's an artillery piece over there that they decided not to bring. Good, I guess. Leave a couple behind here to finish off some of these Slayers. Pull this one out. It's going to take too much damage there, like that. Can't do much about those cavalry. We can't catch them. Got to pin down these Iron Drakes. Okay, we've just about got this army here surrounded. Definitely pin down those troll helmet torpedoes. They've already done a lot of damage. No kills though. So we're really at the point we're going to start taking massive casualties. We're taking a lot of damage, but not that many casualties just yet. But I can't use another fleshy abundance because I don't have enough winds of magic. So keep just using cheap spells and just hope that the army losses happen soon. If I bring Kasich over here, we can use the Helm of Discord to debuff him a bit. Bit more winds of magic. And no, just pop this down. Dish out damage and get us a little bit of healing. And there's the army losses. Cool. If we had taken on any more, we would have taken a lot of casualties. That being said, it did perform pretty well. And it was really on the cusp of them, a difference between, this is probably going to be a close victory. Just because we took, you know, one casualty, basically. No, what I mean is we've taken more than one casualty. Because you know how it is. You know, totally stomped the AI, close victory. It's not going to be a Pyrrhic victory. Alright. Yeah, close victory. But yeah, the damage wasn't too bad. But you know, we also didn't give the enemy any quarter. But it performed better than I expected. There were some dicey moments there where we were taking a lot of damage. So this is the kind of army that you really don't want to go up against four full stacks. That would be very bad because its stamina is quite low. Going up against one army or two armies, yeah, they'll perform pretty well in that situation. But doomstack's stress test really is about fighting 3, 4, 5 armies. 4 armies at a time. Just like with the Rot Knight doomstack. You know, we let them come in, and we absolutely dumped it all over them. I didn't let them come in, and we still dumped it all over them, but it was a bit dicey there at the end. If the fight had gone on much longer, we would have taken a lot more casualties. But it did perform quite well, so it definitely qualifies as a doomstack. Is it a 10 out of 10 doomstack? No. Not everything can reach 10 out of 10, as I've said. And it would be pointless just to give everything a 10 out of 10. Although I sometimes feel like some people expect an army like this to get 10 out of 10. What do you mean, Legend? Why? How can you say it's not 10 out of 10? It won the battle. Yeah, winning the battle doesn't qualify it as a 10 out of 10 doomstack. That just qualifies it for being a doomstack. Like, in terms of rating it, I would consider it qualifies as a doomstack if it can reach a score of 7 or higher. Whereas if it scored lower than a 7, that doesn't mean it's a bad army, it's just not a doomstack. Like, for example, a 0 out of 10 army can't beat anything. So that's reserved for things like the Grail Relique army. And a 5 out of 10 would just be like a pretty balanced sort of army. And like a 2 out of 10 army would just be a really dogshit army that just doesn't really have much strength into it at all. So this one here, let's start rating it. So looking at Tamrakhan, what is he providing to Plague Ogres? The Maggot Lord provides 5 extra melee attack for non-demonic units, which he provides to loads of different units. And immune to psychology, which is not that useful for units that have sort of fear by default. And then you've got Puppet Tyrant, which provides Plague Ogres with melee attack and melee defense. So he's getting plus 10 on top of whatever else you want to put in from the red line there. He's also got extra replenishment rate and recruitment cost reduction. And also an upkeep cost reduction as well. So any army that Tamrakhan is going to get is going to be relatively cheap. Then we've got Kasich here, which I think a lot of his skills here are completely wasted on a Plague Ogre Doomstack because it doesn't boost these units at all. But what he does provide is charge bonus, which that is something. But I don't value charge bonus as much as some of these other stats like weapon strength and melee attack and melee defense there. Speed is very important for these Plague Ogres, and it really did help in that battle, because if we were at our base speed at 42, it would have been a lot harder to just roll right over the Slayers when they had us pinned down, and also we would have gotten shot a lot more. So that there provides probably the best bonus out of any of the stat bonuses that they're getting. And then, of course, Nurgle Healer was really instrumental in the battle. Another thing to keep in mind compared to the Rot Knight Doomstack, I didn't even use the Spellcaster in that battle. I didn't even need it. And I do think that the army that we went up against Reichland was tougher to deal with than the Dwarves. Because typically speaking, I don't really find the Dwarves that difficult of an enemy. They just perform really well in auto-resolve. And they perform really well if you just attack them head-on. But if you get around them and get them blobbed up, they really perform quite terribly. Especially all their artillery, because they didn't get a chance to shoot. Slayers are obviously a bit of a problem in that situation, but there wasn't that many of them. Okay, so in terms of rating this, damage output, I didn't give the Rot Knight Doomstack a 10 out of 10, because I didn't feel like it was worthy of it. And I'm not giving this one a 10 out of 10 for damage either, but it's just how it performs in the battlefield. I'd probably give this more along the lines of an 8 out of 10. In terms of ease of use, it's probably a little bit easier to use than the Rot Knight Doomstack. You don't need to micro as hard. And that's simply because these units are slower. You can't micro them that fast because they just can't get in and out of combat that quickly. Once you've charged them in, you kind of need to commit because pulling them out, they turn around kind of slowly and they get hit and die. It's just better if you just leave them in there and just try to beat whatever you're fighting. And in terms of ease of recruitment, there's a pretty high value in that because it's, if we have a look, these are not tier 5 units. We can recruit these quite easily. So let's try and remember exactly where they come from. I think they come from a basic military building, don't they? Or do they come from one of the specialist ones? I'm not sure. Hang on. Where are they? Yeah, here they are. So tier 3 here. Yeah, so you can get them fairly early on in the campaign and over here. So you can get a lot of them as well. So it's very easy and convenient to recruit them. So that's where they have an edge over the Rot Knight Doomstack in terms of convenience. You can get this way earlier. Because tier 3 does not take long to get to. Tier 5 is the one that takes a little bit. And requires a lot more infection investment. And this one wouldn't. So you could have this army built 20, 30, maybe even 40 turns faster than you can get a Rot Knight Doomstack. Especially considering you've got 2 variants of them here. And they're both available from the same building chain. And you could build multiple of those building chains before you even build your first one of the Rot Knights. So yeah, this you can get this very early on. Probably turn 20 or 30, I reckon would be the earliest you get a full stack of... full stack, I don't know about that. I don't know. But yeah, so really convenient to recruit, so that's definitely worth something. And relatively, not a 10 out of 10 for ease of use, but probably easier than Rot Knights. So in terms of rating this, I'd probably give this along the lines of an 8.5 out of 10, which I think that's a good rating, although I tend to give out a lot of 8.5s. I don't think it deserves lower than that, but I also think that a Rot Knight Doomstack shits all over this, and I gave that a 9.5, and I feel like that's 1 point higher than this. But then again, the convenience has got to count for something. So, look, I'd get it somewhere maybe between 8.5 and 9. You guys let me know what you think, because I'm a bit conflicted with the score on this one, just by comparing it to the Rot Knights, because I really like Rot Knight units, and these guys here, I'm thinking they're good, but they're not as good as Rot Knights, and I can't give them as high a score of that. I just can't justify it. But you let me know what you think. Anyone who says there's a 10 out of 10 Doomstack's a fool, and it's definitely not like a 2 out of 10. So somewhere between 8.5 and 9, I think, is where these guys deserve to go. But let me know in the comments what you think. I appreciate this guy sending in this save file. I think it's a good Doomstack, good solid early, mid to early game Doomstack that you may want to phase out if the game starts to get a bit challenging with these units, because you probably will take significant casualties if you go up against an endgame crisis. This endgame crisis, though it doesn't look like it's too severe. If you're looking at Krakadrak here, Krakadrak can return, because it's actually not present at the beginning of the campaign anymore, if the Dwarven endgame crisis triggers, and that's obviously what's happened here. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.